You can't do freight forwarding without people. We use technology to help and to answer simple questions. And what happens when there's a bigger question? What if you need to make a change? What if you have a hiccup in your supply chain? What if you needed to get here faster? If you don't have a person to talk to who is seasoned, who understands this, has dealt with such things 100 times, and you're just dealing with someone who knows how to use the computer really well and can tell you what button to press, well, you're not going to really do very well, and you're not going to be able to get your, deal with your problem. And that's why, at least at this point, because who knows where AI is going to go, but for a while, you don't abdicate your responsibility. I drive an electric car that has really great navigation and autopilot. I won't mention the name, but people have talked about how people end up getting in accidents because they go to sleep. Yeah, you can't go to sleep while you're driving. And you can't allow any technology to take over for your command. You have to take control, you have to be in control. A freight forwarder still adds value because of its people. The fact is that technology is really useful, and computers are very useful, and AI is very useful, but it doesn't replace, especially for what we do, being able to talk to an actual person. And people are very good also at spontaneous and creative problem solving. And for what we do for freight forwarding, that is, well, it's our reason for existence. If you talk about how many different companies are involved in dealing with any product getting from Asia to here, I've got the count at around 10 at the minimum. It could be up to 15. And each piece of that, every company isn't controlled by one. Even if you're FedEx, you're still counting on a certain number of intermediaries. Most small to mid-sized importers are working with freight forwarders who have a network, an established network. If every carrier took care of your cargo as if it was their main concern, most carriers are just really concerned about getting the vessel from where it's coming from to where it's going to, without any problems. So they have other concerns, very important concerns. So what do we concern ourselves with? We want you to be aware of where your cargo is. We want you to know that it's going to be on time. We want you to know that it hits certain milestones. And well, so for that kind of thing, actually AI is very useful. Those kind of questions. It's when the answer is something you don't want to hear, or the answer is there's been a problem. You want to be able to click, I need to talk to a person. So the way we use it and the way we're intending to use it, because we've mostly been using it in the background. We use it for generating data, for doing analysis, for coming up with a lot of the things that we do, but we're taking it very slowly as far as implementing it. So how can AI be integrated into forwarding? AI is very good at allowing you to go from one question to another and not be limited to a list of possible things. So even our tracking system, it's great. You got a lot of information. What if you have a question about a particular thing? Once the cargo gets here, what is the status of it? Freight forwarding, or basically the shipping industry, is looking at a lot of different ways of using AI. And it's really a matter of enhancing the abilities, or enhancing some of the things they have been doing for a while. AI can be useful in the planning for such events. And even you could say high season, right? That's usually in the summertime. But that varies too. And it really makes a difference as to how many steamship lines are currently in a particular trade lane. So that can change because steamship lines really have the opportunity, and they can decide for themselves whether they want to join that. So the thing about our industry is that it's been around for, I think I've estimated about 5,000 years. It's very old and a very well-established industry. But one of the things it does is deals with a certain level of complexity that is just due to the fact that there are so many different players and new players all the time. There's a lot of consolidated cargo. So you might have a 40-foot container that has 10 different clients on it. Now, that isn't a problem for the carrier, but for a freight forwarder, that's something that needs to be taken into account. So forecasting that, being ready, making sure the equipment's in the right place, AI can be useful for that. With the Doli, you have someone you speak to all the time. You have someone who is your contact.